This scary unsolved mystery will leave you with more questions than answers. The year was 1817 when a group of Welsh flannel weavers were hard at work in their workshop. It was late in the evening, well after dark, and they were busy creating beautiful textiles for their customers. The problem was that they worked in a very old building, and there was only one small window to let light in. As such, they lit candles to make up for the lack of natural lighting, and this is when the terrifying incident took place. One of the weavers saw something horrifying leap through the window. Startled, he cried out, which made the creature outside pause. Whatever it was, it looked back at the men and then disappeared into the night. After calming down, the men went outside to investigate, but they couldn't find anything. They checked everywhere, but there was no sign of whatever the creature was or where it came from. Even more strangely, witnesses reported seeing the creature again, that very same night. It stood tall and thin on top of a gatepost and stared directly at the houses behind it. Some say it even beckoned with a finger. That's right, an actual finger. Witnesses described it as being extremely thin and bony, like the finger of an old man. This is what made the locals believe that the creature was a witch's skeletal finger. The next day, the local vicar decided to conduct a ritual to protect the town from the witch's curse. To do this, he used holy water and made the sign of the cross over the door of the house where the finger had first been seen. But just as he was finishing the blessing, the finger appeared again, reaching through the window to grab him. The vicar screamed bloody murder and ran away. This time, the finger didn't follow him, but it still left the townspeople terrified. A few days later, another ritual was performed, but it didn't help. The finger continued to appear again and again, sometimes even during the day. One day, the baker was working in his shop when he looked up to see the finger tapping on his window. Terrified, he dropped his bread dough and hid under the counter until the finger went away. The local constable wasn't having it. He grabbed a gun and marched outside to confront the finger. But by the time he got outside, the finger was gone. Sometime later, the constable found some muddy footprints near the area where the finger had last been seen. When he brought them to the magistrate, experts said they believed the footprints were made by a human foot, but not just any human. The print was much larger than normal, leading experts to conclude that the prints were made by a giant. But why would a giant be sneaking around town and using a finger to knock on people's doors? We may never know. The appearance of the finger caused quite the stir in the small village. For weeks, people were too afraid to go outside, believing that the witch who owned the finger was trying to curse them. Some say the witch was using the finger to steal the souls of sleeping villagers. Others say she simply wanted to harm anyone who lived in the house with a window. Eventually, the constant fear became too much for some, and they abandoned their homes to escape the cursed town. But while everyone was focused on the finger, they failed to notice the strange behavior of one local boy. He seemed to know where the finger would appear next, and he often looked happy whenever it did. Some say the boy was helping the witch by guiding her finger to the people she wanted to harm the most. Unfortunately for him, though, his actions didn't go unnoticed. Soon enough, the whole town knew what he was doing, and as they reached where the boy lived, they found the cottage empty. It was as if no one ever lived there. Was he really a witch familiar though, or was he just a weird kid who happened to know what the finger would do next? We'll probably never know. While you think about it, this next mysterious monster is going to take you on a sailing journey. There are many legends about sea monsters throughout history, but few are as frightening as the Kraken. This legendary beast is said to be so large that it can swallow entire ships, and it has been described as looking like a giant octopus or squid. While stories about the Kraken have been around for centuries, many scientists dismiss them as nothing more than fantasy. However, in recent years, they have discovered evidence that shows these stories might actually be true. In 2004, a team of researchers from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute explored the deep waters off the coast of California. Using a remotely operated vehicle, they discovered a giant squid that was over 10 feet long. They were shocked because this was the first time anyone had ever seen a live giant squid in its natural habitat. Since then, scientists have discovered many other giant squids, proving that the Kraken might be real. However, there is one major difference between the Kraken and the giant squid. The Kraken is said to be hundreds of feet in length, and scientists have never discovered a squid that large. Or have they? In 2009, a fisherman named Jim E. Kennard was reeling in a massive squid off the coast of New Zealand. The creature was so large that he and his crew had to use a helicopter to get it out of the water. At 26 feet long, this was the largest squid ever captured by humans, but it was still nowhere near the size of the Kraken. What's even stranger is that similar squids have been discovered in other parts of the world, including the Mediterranean Sea, the North Atlantic Ocean, and even the Arctic Circle. It seems like the kraken could be a real animal, but where are the other squids? If giant squids are common in the ocean, why haven't we discovered any others that are hundreds of feet long? Well, the answer might be simpler than you think. It might not actually be a squid at all. There are many different kinds of cephalopods, and some of them are truly gigantic. The biggest cephalopod ever discovered was the colossal squid. This creature is about twice the size of the giant squid, meaning that it could easily be over 60 feet long. However, there is one major difference between the colossal squid and the kraken. Colossal squids don't have tentacles. Instead, they have 8 arms and 2 long feeding appendages. This means that if the kraken is a real animal, it's likely a type of squid that hasn't been discovered yet. But that doesn't mean it isn't out there somewhere. Just because we haven't found a giant squid or kraken in the ocean doesn't mean it's not there. After all, the ocean is so vast that we've only explored about 5% of it. There's still plenty of room for a giant squid to hide. And hiding is exactly what this next monster is really good at. One of the most famous cryptids in America is the Beast of Bray Road. This werewolf-like creature has been spotted multiple times in Wisconsin, and it's said to be so big that it can knock a person off their feet. The first sighting of the Beast of Bray Road was in 1989, when 2 teenagers were driving home late at night. They saw a large wolf-like creature walking along the side of the road, and it appeared to be over 7 feet tall. Since then, there have been dozens of sightings of the Beast of Bray Road. Some people say it looks like a werewolf, while others say it looks more like a coyote. There are even some reports of the creature attacking livestock, but no one has ever been harmed. Many people believe that the Beast of Bray Road is a werewolf, but there is no evidence to support this claim. In fact, there is one detail about the Beast of Bray Road that makes absolutely no sense. Every single sighting of the Beast of Bray Road has occurred in broad daylight. Werewolves are usually active at night, and it is very unlikely that a werewolf would be out during the day unless it has full moon. Yet the Beast of Bray Road has been seen during the day almost every time. This makes it more likely that the Beast of Bray Road is a real animal. But what kind of animal? Well, there are actually several animals that could explain the sightings of the Beast of Bray Road. For example, there are some very large breeds of dogs that could easily weigh over 100 pounds. These dogs are often used for hunting large game, and they could definitely attack livestock if they were off their leash. But then why have people seen the Beast of Bray Road during the day? Well, it's possible that the dog simply came from somewhere else and is kept inside during the day. There's also the possibility that the Beast of Bray Road is a hybrid animal, such as a wolf-dog hybrid. These hybrids are often very large and strong, and they could explain some of the sightings of the Beast of Bray Road. However, there is one detail about wolf-dog hybrids that doesn't quite add up. Wolf-dog hybrids can be very wild animals, and they often have a hard time adjusting to life with humans. You do think that if there was a Beast of Bray Road that it would have attacked someone by now, but there have been no reports of anyone being harmed by the creature. This makes it more likely that the Beast of Bray Road is a real animal. But what kind of animal could be so large and dangerous without harming anyone? Well, some say it might be a cougar. Cougars are known to attack livestock, and they are excellent at hiding in the woods. But then why have people seen the Beast of Bray Road during the day? Well, it's possible that the cougar is simply nocturnal and active at night. However, there have been some reports of cougars being active during the day, especially if they are young or sick. And that's just one theory to explain this very mysterious case. Which of these scary unsolved mysteries was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos.